Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, you have Mark Agnifilo out there windmilling in the halls of justice trying to get you out. What is up on the next docket of Diddy? You wasting your time and you need to be concentrating on your defense because according to Tony Rico, the lawyer that just dumped you, there might be some actual real Rico charges and conspiracy charges coming for you and your lawyer. But anyway, at the very least, you need to focus on your May 5th trial date for which you are not prepared. So what's Diddy's latest antic? Diddy is now trying to get everything that they seized in the raid excluded from evidence because they're trying to say you already had the freak off tapes, baby. If they already had the freak off tapes, then why did they take every server you had? If they already had the freak off tapes, then why do you need that why do you need that evidence excluded? Because if they already had the freak off tapes, what were the tapes they got? What was that? Anyway, y'all, let's get into this because I swear Mark Agnifilo seems to be bleeding Diddy dry. Everything that Mark Agnifilo has tried has either failed or blown up in Diddy's face. The one time they got a little bit of win is when the judge said that the notes that were seized in Diddy's cell had to be excluded because prosecutors took his privileged legal attorney-client information, legal documents, and then it was only and they got that win. And I was like, oh my God, really? The feds were that sloppy? The feds came back and said, absolutely not. Diddy's lying. And Diddy then we found out that he literally lied about everything and it wasn't privileged information. And Mark Agnifilo stood up in front of the judge and said, okay, fine, maybe I was wrong. And the judge literally took his head off saying, don't you ever come into this court again. I'm paraphrasing with some BS when you are lying to me. Anyway, besides that win that ended up backfiring, everything that Mark Agnifilo has put toward the court rejected, rejected, rejected. It has been a waste of time, money, and resources. Let's not forget, it is estimated that Diddy is paying $180,000 a week to mount this legal defense. And all these motions are costing Diddy even more money. Again, does Mark Agnifilo really care if Diddy goes to jail? Lawyers, no matter how great, lose cases all the time. No lawyer has 100% track record. However, does every lawyer have I don't know, that's like generational wealth that Mark Agnifilo is getting from Diddy with every time he moves forward. Anyway, let's get into the latest nonsensical waste of time, money, and court resources. But hey, Diddy, it's your money, it's your kids' future. Diddy takes aim at search warrants, claims feds have freak-out tapes before raids. What does it have to do with anything? It's not just about the freak-out tapes. They literally are accusing you of a criminal conspiracy. What does it have to do with just freak-out tapes? Will someone tell Diddy that as much as they try to act like it was loving relationships and everything was consensual, they are accusing you of being a career criminal? Anyway, they said Diddy's legal team is gunning for the government search warrant, arguing federal agents missiled the court and hid crucial evidence, including that what his attorneys call freak-off tapes that they claim prove alleged victims were willing participants. Oh, if this wasn't such a dumb defense, we'd have to actually acknowledge how dirtbag this actual defense is. You know that, what is it? Cornhub, the adult entertainment thing, they actually got sued and they lost because a lot of the tapes that people watch on there, they found out there was a percentage that wasn't consensual. It looked consensual. It looked like they were enjoying it. Woo! But it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was forced. They were drugged. They felt like they couldn't. They felt in fear of their lives. If the person having the blank says it's not consensual, it's not consensual. On top of that, the government has even more proof. And they're trying to say, because what, you saw somebody smile, you saw somebody do this, you're trying to say it was consensual? Anyway. And in the latest legal wrangling between Diddy and prosecutors, his attorneys allege that the government sought several warrants to search. Diddy's residence, his electronic devices, and his person, and it presented a grossly distorted picture of the facts. The filing contends that the Fed agents admitted key evidence that undermined their case, including text messages between alleged victims and the hip hop mogul. The warrant applications presented a grossly distorted picture of reality. The government had in its possession, for example, a variety of evidence suggesting victim one's participation in alleged freak-offs was voluntary and consensual, not coerced as the government suggested in its applications. Does Mark Agnifilio need to go back to legal ethics? I mean, let me just say this. Even if in the beginning maybe it was consensual, the minute it turns not consensual, even if you agreed to it in the beginning, then what do you want? It's not consensual. Think about this. You have a husband, you have a wife, you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend. Just because you consented to sleep with people one time, two times, 20 times, does not mean that you want to sleep with them the 21st time, the 22nd time. Whenever the law in the sand is drawn between consensual and non-consensual is exactly when it becomes consensual. And say it with me, non-consensual. Y'all got it. Let's get into this. Um, Diddy's attorney argues that the warrants used to arrest him and seize his digital devices, iCloud accounts, and even his Park Hyatt hotel room were overly broad and unconstitutional. The motion blasts federal aid. Wait, his park. They arrested you and they searched your room and they found Tucci. How's that unconstitutional anyway, right? Um, The motion blasts Fed agents for allegedly admitting exculpatory evidence in their warrant applications. Yana, the government hid evidence undermining these witnesses' credibility and presented misleading and selective accounts. We're not dealing with the omission of a few ancillary facts. This is a case of systematic deception. The warrant applications were calculated to mislead, admit clearly critical evidence. Y'all, now you're trying to say that Diddy's team is pushing for a Frank's hearing. It's a legal proceeding to determine whether the government deliberately misled the judge when obtaining the search warrants. His attorneys claim that the probable cause statements were, Yana, it's intentionally misleading, and that the authorities leaked damaging information before executing what they describe as military-style raids on his properties. First of all, it's already been found in past court hearings that they did not leak anything. And honestly, sharing information in an ongoing investigation with MSNBC News, Fox, that's not leaking. They have the right to do that. The only thing they can't share is classified information. Diddy shit wasn't classified anyway, right? They say, in particular, the motion zeroes in on what prosecutors have labeled as key evidence. Alleged freak-off tapes, which the government claims document Diddy's involvement in sex trafficking. Your Honor, the defense argues these recordings were in federal custody before agents raided his homes and should have been disclosed earlier. Your Honor, the government's obstructive allegations were based largely on texts and statements taken out of context. That nearly every witness against Diddy had a financial motive to fabricate or embellish. Oh, look here, Mark Agnifilio. Do you think that Diddy has a financial motive to fabricate, to embellish, and to make up stuff? And what does literally being in a freak off, like you had Cassie's freak off tapes, but they thought there might be others because you're accused of being a sex trafficker. Yo, they are wasting Diddy's money, but we love to see it. The government, however, says Diddy stopped. You engaged in a pattern of witness tampering, including using other inmates' phone privileges, leveraging social media to influence public opinion, and attempting to pay off witness. Diddy's legal team insists, Your Honor, the government cherry-picked evidence to fit its narrative, claiming that misrepresentations and misleading omissions were in the warrants or frequent and pattern. Anyway, y'all, the judge is going to rule on this. I doubt that whole search warrant is going to be thrown out. The bar for a government to get a search warrant is actually really, really low. So you don't really need that much. But at the end of the day, Diddy, stop playing. Stop playing in the court space. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.